Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats, kids, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. Continuing our evergreen series. I understand that this is all blown out. I just like to show off the studio, so I certainly appreciate your indulgence in this one. We got a request. It was kind of a weird one, but actually got a request, and it was talk about your armor. I've been an armor maker for about 25 years. I cover basically every time period, whatever happens to come up. I don't do mail. I don't do any of that. My producer does mail. She hand makes all that stuff. I don't have that kind of patience. So I stick with plate armor, and my passion is 15th century. I love anything in the 15th and 16th century. So I thought I'd give this a go, see if there's any interest, see if you guys want me to kind of carry on. And today we are bringing you the 15th century breastplate. That's this one, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to just talk about the nuance of this one. So I made this one probably about 10 years ago. It's been floating around the shop for a long time, and it's seen many Ren fairs and weddings and all that other good stuff. But it's kind of like a nice generic representation of the time period. Now, what do I mean by that? There was a lot of interesting stuff that happened in the 15th century. It was generally called the transitional period. Now, before I really start taking this thing apart, I am not an expert. I did not go to school for this. I'm not going to fall back on this deep education and all of the digs that I went to as we were digging up armor. I see stuff I like, and I kind of recreate it. Now, I don't ever recreate a piece that already exists. What's the point? If you want to see it, it's already out there. So I kind of grab up different elements of things that I like, put them together, assemble them, and here we go. Now, one of the kind of the neat things about this particular breastplate and this particular time period is the three-piece construction on the actual breastplate. So you have the placard, and then you have the breastplate itself up here with the third piece right there in the middle, which you can kind of see. So it made it interesting, if nothing else, because they're very quick and easy to assemble. You still have the really good, you still really have the really good shape. They're always going to be bulbous. And the idea of that is because you want to make sure that there's a gap between the steel and your skin. So that's why when you see these things and they look kind of tubby, they're not form-fitting. I mean, they fit you very, very strong right above the hips and right up on the pectoral muscles. That's where the actual armor is laying. Everything else carries away from it. So you'd have on... typically, you'd have on your undercoat, whatever it happens to be, padded arming garment, whatever it is. And 14th century, you'd be wearing a mail coat and then the breastplate over the top. But in the 15th century, they kind of did away with that, and they started sewing mail to their coat. They were called voiders. So they started actually sewing it to the coat, and the idea of that was mail is heavy. Mail is stupidly heavy. Plate armor is stupidly heavy. You got to cut weight and keep protection. So if you just sew the voiders, a patch of mail right there to the armpit, that's really the only exposed part, and it works. But let me get back to this real quick. So again, this is not created from any particular design, just kind of like an overall design of the breastplates of the period. Couple of really, really neat things. I'm going to start right here with the gussets. I believe that they're called gussets. I've seen it go a couple of different ways, but that's this piece right here. If you can see the little, and I should be zooming in more, but I'm not going to. If you could see the extended piece of steel right here, that will drop completely out of the way. So it's here and it's gone. It's only a couple of inches, but the idea is that it will stay flush on your chest when your arm is out hanging normally, and when you have to come across your body like you tend to do when you're fighting, then this thing will jump out of the way. So a couple of inches here will give you 6 to 8 inches when you're all the way across your body, because it's not jamming you up, and the extra protection is always nice. This is a very upper chest, shoulders are very, very vulnerable area. So the more metal you can get up there, it's just a good thing. Did these save any lives? There's there's enough pieces out there that had them that would suggest that this was not just stylish, that this was actually a functional accessory to armor. I tried to do it a couple of different ways. The first time I tried was slotted rivets, and that was fine. The whole piece, gusset, would slide out of the way, but it wouldn't return. It would not pop back up. So I ended up doing it with compression rivets. So that's here and here. Here and here. So as it folds down and your body moves it, the pressure on the rivet itself and the way that it's set up will snap it back in place. So I could push it down and it's going to just keep popping back up. And that was the idea for that. So that was a much later armor development. I thought it was cool. Every piece of armor I own has gussets. So so obviously I like it. Now, the fluting pattern on this is really, it's more or less art. It's whatever they're functional and they're structural, but the size and the way that you do it and the length and the design and all that, it's art, and it's kind of up to it's going to kind of be up to the armor maker. Now, you can see it in the inside, and again, I should be zooming in, but I'm not. You could see that I do my flutes from the inside. So I'll start with this. I'm trying to catch with the light in the right place. Yeah, you're going to have it. But I'll start with the inside, so I'll mark the inside of the armor, and I will use a blunted chisel to start the flute, and then finish it up top over a stake, a fluting stake. So I'll finish it up over the top. The idea behind the flutes and their structural is I want you to imagine a piece of paper and just hold a corner of the piece of paper and let it go. You're going to watch the piece of paper just flop all the way down. Now take that same piece of paper and put a crease down the middle of it and hold it by the crease. And when you hold it by the crease, you're going to notice that it doesn't go anywhere. It adds a structural element to this. Because it's a three-piece, it doesn't have a tremendous amount of shape. Meaning for me to create this angle, it's not a lot of work. I don't have to hot raise any of this. It is done basically cold. I mean, I don't use an English wheel. I still do it by hammer. But it's basically done cold. So there's not that structural shape that you get out of doing it as a single piece. So we have to stiffen it up any way we can. And this is one of the ways that we stiffen it up. Your big vulnerabilities on this is obviously the placard portion. That's why there's so many right here in the middle. And again, the armpits, because that's the crush point. That's going to be a weak point on the armor. So we flute it up to give it some strength. Now, I should have put triangle rolls on this, but at the time I made this, I didn't know how to make triangle rolls. So these are just really, really standard rolls. You want to see the difference between armor and movie props and stuff like that, look for the rolls. It's all in the rolls. This is a structural element that simply cannot be, you can't pass that up. If you don't have the rolls in there, I could basically bend this thing by hand. But with the rolls in it, you can see that it just immediately wants to snap back into place between the different design elements and the fact that we got the rolls in there. Now with the gussets, that's actually kind of cool because you have two sets of these things. These things are, they also kind of act as a shot trap. I want you to imagine a sword or a spear that's running up the side of the armor. If there's nothing in the way to break that thing up, it's going to keep going. Now in the 14th century, we put big ribs right over here up on the neck so that nothing could run up it. But with the 15th century, we started wearing like heavy bevers and stuff like that, so we didn't need that anymore. But the rolls are always there. So it's designed to stop a tip and deflect it, or I would say break it, but swords are made pretty well too. So it didn't really have anything that'll deflect the blow. That's the whole idea behind this. Now, this part down here is called the fold, and I kind of bricked this one because again, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time that I made it. I've learned since then, and believe it or not, it comes down to the rivet points over here of what makes a fold and what makes it function correctly. So I riveted these straight to the side because that's what I had seen. That's what I saw in movies. That's what I saw in everything, and so I riveted it there. But the problem with that is that it will run wild up. It will, with it straight on the side, it's very easy for the fold to run all the way up, and you don't want it to run all the way up. You want it to be able to compress a little bit when you're mounted or when you're bending at the waist. You want it to compress, but the rest of the time you want that thing as long and low as you can get it. So the way it was adjusted later is that these rivets should have been in about 10, maybe 6 to 8 inches. That's where the rivet should have been, because then we get the compression rivet. Same thing that we get with the gussets. We get that compression effect out of the fold with the rivets in the right place. I didn't put the rivets in the right place, but I'm not going to toss the piece because of that. So what I ended up doing was using leather inserts. You can kind of see them right here. These are they're all hidden underneath the fold because you build it in certain directions. But yeah, I ended up using leather inserts. You can see them right there. And that'll allow it to compress and kind of push back. Not exactly the way it should have been. But again, I'm not going to toss the piece because of that, because it is kind of snazzy. All in all, there was... based on wood cuttings, illustrations, paintings, stuff that was done, it's a pretty standard piece for the time. This would have been maybe mid 15th century and up, so it was kind of a standard. Now this one has got a German flair. This is not Italian. I got another Italian breast, and that's full Hobrex. I'll show you that whole thing in a video. But I've always had my love of the German armor, because I love the artistry. I love the functionality. I enjoyed everything about it. And when I was younger, I preferred mobility over coverage. Now I'm older. I wear Italian exclusively because I'll take the coverage, the mobility. I'm old. I can't run that fast anyway. What do I need that mobility for? So I'd rather turn myself into a pillbox as opposed to a cheetah. But yeah, that's I want to say that's a very, very brief summary of this particular piece. Now we got all kinds of different ones back there. If you guys like it, please let me know in the comments. I'll continue to bring you different armor pieces, the stuff that I've built, stuff that I do, give you my rationale for it. I'm by no means am I an expert. I am not. If you want to challenge me on anything I said, I bow to your wisdom. I'm 53, bro. I don't care anymore. So, but if you do have any other questions, comments, concerns, observations, please put them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to do it. It's a huge passion for me. I absolutely adore this. I adore everything about armor. And I might even hit up my producer and start hanging some of the old pieces up on the wall behind me, because I just think that would look cool. Who doesn't like armor? I mean, come on. So anyway, guys, that's it. I have no idea how long this ran. Well, I'm not going to edit. Get what you get. Questions or comments, Scott@ThePodocasts.com. You can see the graphic right over there. I answer any and all. Any other questions on this, please put them in the comments. Comments help our algorithm. If you enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe, all that other good stuff. And until next time, please stay safe. Please be smart with your money, guys. Cheers.